Okay, then let's... Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Eclipse. Wasn't that always there? Huh. Oh, so there we have a scene with Saber. And a scene with, Kanne. Let's have a look at the scene with Saber. Now then... Finally, this day was at an end. It's not as though anything particularly worth mentioning happened, but the events that took place still held enough weight. A soak in the hot water should wash away any lingering fatigue from my body. I washed my body and have been soaking in the tub for a few minutes. Suddenly, I hear a noise coming from the changing room. I see a figure on the other side of the glass. Did she come to pick up the laundry, or maybe to brush her teeth? Hey! Who? Oh, wait a minute. There's no voice acting. Does this mean what I think it means? Is it? Right before I could finish those words. Pardon me, Shiro. Saber walked in, completely naked. Wait a second. I'm already in here. Yes, I know. So, may I join you? That would be... Saber is smiling gently. Erk. If she's this calm, it would be rude of me to get embarrassed, right? Sure, if you're alright with it. Though, this bathtub is pretty small. It's probably because the bathroom is fogged up by steam. But the stimulation from what I'm seeing is suppressed by as much as 70%, just barely stopping my brain from frying. Then, excuse me. Saber begins to wash herself at the shower. From the corner of my eye, I could see her fingertips and the hot water glide over that smooth and tender skin. This bathroom is a bit cramped for two people. If it had more room, we could warm up in the bath together, I vacantly thought. May I get in? Really? Shifting myself over in a panic, I make room for Saber. From the tips of her toes all the way to her thighs, I stay fixated on her smooth legs as she steps into the tub. The water level of the tub rises, and soon after that... Ha! The water temperature is nice. Ah, yeah, I made it hotter than usual. We're so close together that I can't think straight. And just now, that absent-minded response I blurted out only increased my tension even more. No, I mean, this is how I like it, but is it too hot? No, I've come to prefer around this much heat when bathing as well. I see. That's good. Of course, the hotter the water, the better is just a misconception that many people have. In truth, water that's only slightly warmer than your body temperature is better for both health and fatigue recovery. But to be honest, rather than wanting Saber to enjoy a proper bath, I just want to pour in some cold water to keep my head from boiling over. The conversation comes to an end. In the first place, I wonder why she suddenly chose today to come in. I want to ask if she's feeling alright, but that would be a bit tactless. Yeah, not a good move. Shiro, shall I wash your body for you? Well, sure, in a bit. Getting my body washed by Saber, what kind of heavenly torture would that be? No doubt, it would feel indescribably good. Two people covered in bubbles, washing and being washed. Even I couldn't endure. Gah. Our knees are already touching inside the tub. Phew! A relaxed sigh from Saber. Your body. Should I wash it for you as well? I couldn't finish and ended up mumbling. It might cause a misunderstanding if I stop mid-sentence at such a strange place. Well, what I mean is, if you wash me, it would only be right to return the favor. That would make me happy. However, I will decline this time. I'm always causing trouble for you. Today, I just want to be the one returning the favor. Saber. I see. So that's why she got in with me. I'm an idiot. Could something like this really be so simple? This isn't the first time bathing together or even touching her body, but something like this still makes me nervous. Oh, so that's it. I can't stand this anymore. With her seductive nude figure in this cramped bath, I can't come up with anything cool to say if I don't get out of the bath for a bit and cool down my burning body. Shido, would it be fine to move closer to you? Yeah, that's okay, I guess. She beat me to it. Almost halfway out of the water, I sit back down into the tub. Saber raises her hips and turns her body. Saber? Oh? Ah! This way is much more calming. Okay then, maybe I should make a cut here. So, I'll see you in a second. Saber hums a tune of some faraway foreign country. After briefly washing each other's bodies, we get in the tub again. Even though we had been embracing each other until just a moment ago, when I look at her body again, it feels like everything that just happened was a lie. Of course, it's neither a lie nor a dream, but still. Did something happen, Shido? I can't think straight. After soaking in that extra hot water all that time and having my head baked in such a pleasurable feeling, it can't be helped if I've become a bit sluggish. I get nowhere even if I try to think. Still, just bathing together with Saber like this is more calming than anything else. Quietly, I move my hand underneath the water. If I touch her again, I wonder what would happen. Underneath the water, my hand reaches out and misses. Just like a fish escaping from my hands, Saber had risen from the bathtub. Ugh. Then it is about time we get out, if we stay in much longer. That hot water will get to us, right? That is why you should get out. There is no benefit if you go and collapse, Shido. It's only natural that if I do something like that in this extra hot water for so long, I'd get hurt, I guess. Although Saber looks completely fine. I guess I couldn't show off my good side at the very end. Sorry, I didn't mean to worry you. No, it was a very pleasant bath. Let us go in together next time as well. That's, It's not good to think with a brain that's been boiled like an egg. Does she mean going in together without those extra benefits? Saber gives me an admonishing-like smile. Maybe she caught on to what I was thinking. Next time, please do not get too worked up from the hot water, nor myself. Gah. I unintentionally swallow my breath due to that teasing smile. Don't be unreasonable. I like to be praised just for not collapsing. Her giggling voice echoes in the bathroom. I give up. It looks like today's Saber was the invincible heroine from beginning to end. Well, that was interesting. Okay then, let's restart, shall we? And after the next cycle ends, I'll do the other scene in the eclipse. October 8th. And let's skip to the afternoon. Let's talk to Lancer. At the harbor, there's a familiar face. Lancer can be found anywhere, but in the afternoon, this is where he devotes himself to his hobby. Well, what should I ask him about? What is he doing? The sky is clear. The autumn mood is covered up by the intense sunlight. The soft ocean breeze gently caresses my face. Only the screeching of seagulls breaks the peaceful silence of the docks. Without argument, this is a perfect location. Fuyuki Harbor, a refreshing spot for an old man that would like an afternoon stroll, or a sportsman training for a marathon. But the charged atmosphere between these two radically different men may soon turn it into a war zone. Right behind Lancer, that brown-skinned man enjoying his newfound leisure time, his strong back shining in the sunlight, can only be
稲田16匹目フィッシュ。良い漁港だ。面白いように魚が釣れる。ところで後ろの男、今日それで何フィッシュ目だ？
うるせえな。なんでてめえに答えなきゃいけねえんだっての。うるせえからよそでやれよそで。
まだサバが8匹だけか。時代遅れのフィッシングスタイルではそんなところだろうよ。と17匹目フィッシュ。
だからうるせえってのこの近代かぶれ。魚が逃げるだろうが魚が。
Hipster?
腕のなさを他人のせいにするとは落ちたなランサー。近場の魚が逃げるのならリール釣りに切り替えればいいだろう。もっとも石器人であるお前にリール釣りの何たるかが理解できるとは思えないが、おっとすまないね。18匹目フィッシュ。
Cries the man in the red jacket. Well, this is a sight to see. I never knew that adults reverting to childishness could be so unpleasant to watch. I'm hardly want to talk, but I get the overwhelming urge to just look away. Dressed like a fine fisherman head to toe, with stylish pants and jacket, his distasteful implement is a spare, no-expense, 99% carbon fishing rod. The reel he's using is the pinnacle of modern technology, a 16-ball bearing, no vibration model with high-speed electric reeling to boot.
いいなあ。あれ最新型のリールだよな。
That reel is the one artifact that allows the man in red to match, if not surpass, Lancer's wild intuition. All you have to do is input the data and the reel can practically catch the fish by itself. It's all so overwhelmingly high-tech, one can hardly tell whether he came here to fish or to watch the machine do its job. Everything else he's got with him screams top of the line. It must have cost over 203,000 yen altogether, enough to turn the most die-hard fishing freak green with envy. Incidentally, all of it is bootleg created through projection.
この分では夜明けを待たずして勝負がつくな。軽い準備運動で始めたのだが、様子を見るまでもない。なあランサー、別にこの港の魚を釣り尽くしても構わんのだろう。
はいはい、できるもんならやってみろ。そん時は二度とてめえをアーチャーとは呼ばねえよ。
よく言ったランサー。こんな形でお前と雌雄を決する時が来ようとはな。どちらが漁港最強か、ここではっきりさせてやろう。
Archer is in high spirits, while Lancer just looks fed up with the whole thing. Told you, didn't I? Say something weird and you'll attract someone even weirder. I leave the harbor as quietly as possible so as to not get between them, praying in my heart that the guy in red won't have cause to change his name from Archer to Angler anytime soon. Okay, let's call it a day. It's October 9th. No new scene here, so let's skip to the afternoon. Let's skip to the night. And let's call it a day. October 10th. Afternoon. Assassin. At the top of a long flight of stone steps stands the Ryudo Temple Gate. The gate guard here is rather stubborn and difficult to deal with, instead of something like lion dogs or Neo statues.
今日はいるな。
The figure of Sasaki Kojiro, assassin, comes into view. Having never gone into town, he has literally disappeared within the temple gate. An imposing character like that in broad daylight, with temple visitors around, would be rather odd. Fortunately, no one but Aspers should be able to see him, or so you would think. Out for a casual stroll, I ended up coming all the way here. I wonder why. Despite having the day off, I bet Issei still went to school. Even if I go out of the way to offer him a cheerful greeting, the chances of being able to get a conversation going with Kojiro are slim. Kojiro himself only glances towards me. Finding no ill intent, he shifts his gaze elsewhere. But, you know, after standing guard all day long, you can't help but be bored. A job where you don't do anything, even if that's an exaggeration, I can't fathom how tiresome that must be. I feel sorry for him.
今度差し入れでも持ってくるか。
He doesn't look like the kind of guy that dislikes drinking. Should I take some from the main temple building? Suddenly, Kojiro stands up. Behind me, I hear somebody going up the stone steps. Out of breath, they make frequent stops along the way. Wondering who that might be, I hide behind the gate and take a peek. Huh? Kojiro aside, there was no need for me to hide, I just followed along. As she's having a rest just a few steps before the top, I see a familiar face. Saegusa? Is she alone? Once recovered, she slowly conquers the last bit. The guard in question, Kojiro, gazes at Saegusa silently. Her epic ascent finally over, she looks at him uneasily, not noticing me yet. But she sees Kojiro, and I do recall hearing about this somewhere. She speaks up, a hint of fear in her voice. Well, can't blame her, not when this anachronism of a swordsman stands in front of her, and not a single TV crew or signboard in sight.
すいません。お寺の方ですか？
さよう。
こんなこと聞いては失礼かもしれないんですけど、お祭りでもあるんですか？
A very Saegusa-like straight pitch. She must be inquiring about Kojiro's antique-looking clothes.
祭りか。この寺にも来歴があるようだな。キャスターはそう言ってはいたが、いつのことかはあいにくとな。
What kind of history, I wonder, Saegusa ponders, tilting her head to the side.
はあ。キャスターさんって久月先生の奥様ですよね。
そういうことになっている。困ったものだ。
She seems a little off-put by his blunt manner of speech. Perhaps it's about time to interrupt them. Just as I'm about to make an appearance, Saegusa's unexpectedly persistent stance stops me in my tracks. The way things are now, this is not a good time to come out.
キャスターさんと久月先生、お似合いだと思うのですけど。お名前は？
津田小次郎と。
じゃあ小次郎さん、お似合いだと思いませんか？
Tsushida? Stop making up weird names. Did he think she might get suspicious if he called himself Sasaki Kojiro while wearing that outfit?
君の名前は？
あ、三枝由紀香と言います。
ではユキカ殿、私は彼女が旦那に構ってもらえずに焼いているのを見るのが 数少ない娯楽だったのだよ。昨今はその意味ではいささか面白くない。
You are a wicked man, Kojiro. However, I can sympathize. Being perpetually assigned to guard duty while Caster strolls freely around town would put anyone in a foul mood.
そうなんですか。
なに、これはかぶいた私の好みだ。君のようなあどけない娘から祝福されると知れば、彼女も喜ぶだろう。
Muttering thus, he sits down on the stone steps.
あどけないんですか、私。
She really is, though she wouldn't notice it herself, but despite her nervousness, she still sits down beside him.
小次郎さん、やっぱり私の見間違いじゃないですよね。
While saying that, Saegusa runs her hand all over Kojiro's costume. While his face may remain stone still, he is definitely troubled.
マキちゃんやカネちゃんはお寺の山門にお侍さんなんかいないって言うんです。でもやっぱり本当にいたんですね。
彼女たちが来た時は時が悪かったのだろう。
He mutters in bewilderment, staying beside her. Befriended by a cute little puppy, even Kojiro finds it hard to be unkind.
本当ですか？いつもお堂の中に？
いや、山門の上にな。あの上で参詣の客に不心得者が紛れていないかを伺う門番役だ、私は。
He isn't exactly lying, but he isn't quite telling the truth either. Of course, he'd be reluctant to talk about servants and so forth in the first place.
あ、それだからお侍さんみたいな格好をしてるんですか？私、秋のお祭りの出し物のお稽古をしてるのかなって思ってたんです。
I see. While Kojiro sits there dumbfounded, Saegusa's face is sparkling with an innocent smile.
すごいです、小次郎さん。本当にお侍さんみたいです。その後ろの長い刀って本物ですか
5尺余りの備中青江だ。
Hearing that it's a real sword, Saegusa leaps back. No wonder, when you think about it, seeing a man armed with a real sword right in front of you is a bit of a shock. Even my thick-headed self would be perturbed in that situation.
怯えるな。手向かわぬ女子供は切りはせぬ。
でも警察とか大丈夫なんですか？
自社はもとより守護不入の地だ。心配はない。
What century is that from? Gathering her resolve once again, Saegusa timidly goes back to sitting by his side. The flow of the conversation is interrupted, and silence sets in, yet there is definitely a friendly air between the two of them. As I watch from behind the gate, I suddenly feel rather embarrassed by this act of voyeurism.
小次郎さん、
何かな。
もしよければ、
Listening to this makes me nervous. I mean, Saegusa's talking to a guy out of her own will. Just what is it that attracts her to Kojiro? Is it his slightly greater than average audacity? Had Makidera been here, there'd be more than a little violent uproar, no doubt.
今度マキちゃんとカネちゃんに会ってもらえないかなって思うんですけども。
その二人は君の友人か。ああ、カネとやら彼女の方は見覚えがあるな。
Kojiro's nodding, but his face remains stern.
本当ですか？カネちゃんと小次郎さんってもうお知り合いなんですか？
こちらが一方的に見知っているだけだ。その時は上にいたものでね。しかし、さて、どうしたものか。 私のような世捨て人と面会したところでな。
He lets out a light sigh. His dramatic attitude looks nothing more than an attempt to relieve some boredom at the expense of Saigusa's naivety.
ごめんなさい。私そんなつもりじゃなくて。そうですね。
She seems dejected. It would take someone like Makidera or Tosaka to extract a promise as overbearing as that.
ユキカ殿、
それでしたら今度私の弟たちに会っていただけませんか？
それはなぜかな。
きっと弟たちも本当にお侍さんがいるんだ、すごいなーって驚いてくれると思うんです。だからその約束してくれたら
Having said that much, she stays silent. Not that it makes it any less forceful. Hearing promise, the word causing her anxiety, a faint smile appears on Kojiro's face. There's no way Saigusa would know the weight of the promise that binds his body here.
ユキカ殿には弟子がおられるのか。
はい、私が一番上のお姉さんなんです。
そうか。姉上に似て兄弟思いの優しい弟子なのであろう。
The praise causes Saigusa's cheeks to light up bright red in an instant. She's flustered once again.
そんなことないです。みんなやんちゃで言うこと聞かなくって食いしん坊で私を困らせてばっかりで、いざ連れてきても小次郎さんに変なこと言っちゃったりしないかって不安で、私すいません。
ユキカ殿が慌てることはない。時には昔日を思い出すのも悪くはないと思うてな。
Nodding like that, Kojiro is getting dramatic again. Twisted as he is, he can still weave in a glamorous quote. Or did he actually mean it? If that's the case, I have greatly underestimated Saigusa's skill.
本当ですか？
気が向けば顔程度は見せよう。とはいえ、夜の訪問は物騒だ。日中であれば、いつかの機会に。
じゃあ、また日を改めて弟たちと一緒に来ますから。すいません。こんなことをお願いして。
She bows deeply. In the end, despite wanting to leave, well, I guess it's alright, so I really did end up just watching them. Kojiro knew it, but it's rather rude for me to be peeking on Saigusa. As quietly as possible, I take my leave.
さて、境内をちょっと見ていくか。